Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the Positive Tarot. So, I am Lesego, and I'm going to be hosting your tarot reading session. And yes, today I wanted to talk about something that's close to my heart, right? Because I usually pick a topic and then, ask Spirit to give me some guidance or some messages regarding a particular topic. And today we'll be talking about something very, very close to my heart: entrepreneurship. Yes. So without any further ado, getting right onto the tarot cards, what I actually found to be like the first card that came out is the Magician. Okay, fine. So what is a magician? Okay, looking according to the definition of the tarot, or according to my understanding, a magician is somebody who takes something small and makes something big out of it. Something or making something from seemingly nothing. So if you have a look at the magician card here, there is the pentacle, the cup, the sword, the wand, like basically all the tools that come from or form a part of the tarot, and they all represent an element of nature, right? The cups represent water, swords air. So basically air, water, fire, earth, and fire, water, air, and earth. Yes, right. So using the basics of the basic, the most basics of things, and making something big out of it. So how does that link to an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is a magician in that sense that it can start from a small idea. Or you can even, sometimes you don't even have the biggest or the most capital in the world. You have just a small thing and you work with what you have. So a message that I'm taking from the magician is use what you have and take it from there. And what you have will take you from step A to step B, and from B to C. It's very rare that you can go to A to Z, from A to Z, right from the get-go, right? And not everybody is aware of that, but the magicians are. That is how they actually make somehow these miraculous, or achieve these miraculous things out of nothing, you see. But it's not really nothing. It is resolve. It is an idea. It is a vision. Yes, I talk like there's just one of those big words, like whether it's a business plan or a vision or a mission or objectives, you see, those kinds of things. But they all stem from just small things, and using what you have, mixing and matching them in a certain way. If you talk about it from a marketing perspective, there's like the 7 P's or the 4 P's. Okay, fine. And depending on what you're going for, there's a different mix and match of all those elements in your business, or different strategies to reach your ultimate objective, right? And I'm going to move on to the next card, which was the devil. Many people are afraid. Okay, this isn't necessarily a negative card, but many people are afraid of entrepreneurship or the world of business because, like, yeah, the love of money is a source of all evil. Okay, those will be the spiritualists, and the people who are just afraid of taking risks will be like afraid of the unknown, you see. So just comparing here, it's like it's very bright, it's well illuminated, and the devil card in contrast is a little bit dark, and I feel this darkness is just symbolic of not knowing everything, stepping into the unknown, from the world of possibility, excitement, knowing that you got something and working on it, to the devil, whereby you might feel like you're in the dark, or you're trapped. Yes, the devil. Sometimes people, when they go into, okay, everybody goes into entrepreneurship for different reasons. I love it because of it gives me a whole lot of freedom. You see, it comes with challenges, but it gives me freedom. But some people are somehow forced into entrepreneurship because of a feeling of a lack thereof, you see. And if you look at the devil card, these two people, they are sort of bound. They feel trapped, bound. And this links to, okay, another card that I pulled out. I pulled out another card from, excuse me. I pulled out another card from sort of uh words of wisdom. I don't know what to call it. I call it like nuggets of wisdom. So there are some words of wisdom that I wrote, but I'll get into it. Right. So being bound. Okay, you know what? Let me just read it. So what I wrote here is, you can buy yourself out of a contract, but rather don't sell yourself in the first place. Right. So what this means is, it talks about the importance of, in entrepreneurship, in the world of entrepreneurship, writing. It's important. Setting up contract is important. The legalities, the legal face of it. You can start a small business, work with word of mouth. Some things can happen without any paperwork, but paperwork is necessary. But here what he's talking about is, you can buy yourself out of a contract. Now, this would be a contract whereby you have signed and you're not happy with it. You did not read the fine print, or perhaps you didn't even write it, because it isn't that you're only going to have to jump into contracts. Sometimes you have to create those contracts, whether you are either employing people or working with suppliers or distributors, depending on the scale of your enterprise, or whether you're even applying for funding. Like, things are going to be written down, and you got to be very, very careful. You have to be aware, and you have to be in the know. Empower yourself, inform yourself of all the necessities and the legalities that might be necessary in your entrepreneurship process. You see, and now don't be somebody else's slave, whereas you are the mastermind behind your business and your business idea, just because of you've sold yourself into a contract which you didn't read, right? Or find yourself cheated because you didn't set up a contract, or you didn't sign a contract. You see, we work in a world of scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, but it doesn't really work like that in the world of business. You gotta have things in writing. Okay. So I feel like this is actually a very good card. Moving from, yes, you can do anything, use what you have, you are a magician. Entrepreneurship is essentially magic. If you think of all the famous entrepreneurs, probably they started something from scratch, something that did not exist, and they put it into existence. You see, and if you look at the magician card, it's like as above, so below, right? And the infinity sign. I don't want to talk too much about this because it's so deep, but as above, so below, from the world of ideas to the world of forms. No, from the world of, the world of forms to the physical world, right? From top to bottom, from your head down to your existence, right? And then now, linking with contracts, bruh, you don't want to get yourself stuck into something that, and unfortunately it's going to be your own fault. You see, yes, there are some very, very tricky people out here, but yeah, just read the fine print and set up contracts as well. Be aware with the legalities of everything that needs to happen, right? And yeah, let the fire that's inside you burn. Let it burn. Otherwise, this other person will be lighting up their own. This person is essentially already on the throne. So usually people or investors who have already made it, you see, will come through and take your shine. You see, monetize out of you if you don't familiarize yourself with contracts. Okay, cool. So the next card that I got from this entrepreneurship reading is the Five of Pentacles. So now the Five of Pentacles is the card of poverty. Sequentially moving from this one, if you don't get your contract right, your paperwork right, you could actually struggle financially. But regardless of whether you've reached that level of contract making or not in your enterprise, entrepreneurship has its ups and downs. Like any kind of business, even workers, people who work, there's a time whereby they get their salaries, right? And everything's popping, and then there's that mid-month or that time where they've charged all their money from their salaries. So it's like a cycle. There's day and night, there's winter and summer. So when you're in entrepreneurship, be prepared to live frugally, or to live like, you might have money, but you just can't spend it anyhow. You have to be money wise, you see. And unfortunately, sometimes I see these people, it's like they are physically not, like the physical needs are not met. There are going to be times and your instances whereby the only thing that's keeping you going is your resolve. You might not even have any of these resources. At least the magician has something to start with, but like sometimes you might feel like you have less than nothing. Whether you are in debt, whether your business has gone down the drain and you have to start again and again and again, you're gonna have to keep going. If you feel like you've fallen, you're gonna have to raise yourself, you see. Maybe you can't even walk properly anymore. This time you have to walk with clashes. But if you want to move forward, you're gonna have to have that resolve to move forward. Walking bare feet in the snow. This is like one of the saddest cards in the tarot, to be honest, in my opinion. Because this is the card of brokenness. So you might, and brokenness in terms of entrepreneurship isn't necessarily just financial. Sometimes maybe you might not have the support that you need, the team that you need, the equipment that you need, but you're gonna have to keep moving forward. I kind of like this card because, regardless of how terrible they look, I mean, look at these people, but they're moving forward. Are they standing still? Are they sleeping? Nah, keep it moving. Times ain't always going to be easy. We won't always have the money or the resources. But as an entrepreneur or as a business person, as a person with a vision, you gotta always know that what goes around comes around, that this is a cycle. This is just a phase and it's going to pass, you see. You're gonna get back into the light. And the colors are interesting as well. These colors aren't too different. This card is predominantly dark. You see, it's a dark time in your life, but there's a little bit of light. Also, these pentacles are above, so maybe if you can keep your vision in your head, have a higher purpose behind everything that you do, then as an entrepreneur, it can keep you going. And interestingly enough, the last card, finally, is the Eight of Wands, right? The number 8 has come out in an interesting way, in the form of the lemniscate or the infinity sign, right? How what goes around comes around, or everything is a cycle, you see, from top to bottom, sometimes from bottom to the top, as in this case, right? As in this case, if you are getting yourself into a crappy contract, then your light will be going up instead of maybe coming down back to you. So now the Eight of Wands, the wands stands for fire, it's a symbol for fire, lighting up that fire inside you. It's actually a card of success, like the number 8 is the number of material prosperity, of resolve, of achievement. You see how happy I am. I kind of feel it, regardless of if actually you can get through this phase. And it's so interesting how the beginning, it can be all hopes and dreams and like everything bright, and then you gotta go through the most difficult of times and then ultimately reaching success. Yeah, that excitement, in the end it will pay off. All the challenges that you have gone through, they will pay off, right? If you keep falling and making sure that you rise, even if you have to walk barefoot in the snow, even if you have to limp towards your dream in crutches, you see, with brokenness or whatnot, you have to overcome a lot, entrepreneurially speaking. If you keep that magic lit inside of you, then you're ultimately going to reach success and be like, yeah, it's been a long journey, but the light that has been burning inside me has kept me alive, even though the world seemed like a very dark place, you see. So the outcome of entrepreneurship after overcoming all these challenges is success and celebration and happiness, you see. And if you have a closer look at this card, it's actually showing you like the environment. There aren't really any people per se. Maybe your vision or your goal Sometimes you might have to reach it alone, or sometimes the people that you start with, that you begin with, you might not always end with the same way as, the magician is working alone essentially. Obviously, you're going to have a team, you're going to have some people that you work with, you're going to come across different kinds of people at certain stages. You won't be alone in the picture, but ultimately you will be the one who will know once you've reached that success, and you'll be able to celebrate it, achieve it. And this looks like it's a cut of distance. You see, like there's a hill in the background in the distance, looking at how far you have come, how many obstacles you have overcome. That in itself is a form of success, you see. Then there's material prosperity, and then there's, growth, or a growing customer base, whatever your initial goal is, or changing your environment, changing the world, changing your world, your family's financial state, or your own financial state. You see, whatever it is that drives you, or fame or fortune, whatever it is that you went for, then you can sit back, be at the top of the hill. Maybe the people who you started with, they're going to feel like now you're too far from them, like you're distant, as it always happens when you're successful. But they don't really know how much you've gone through. And even if you try to tell your story, they might not always understand. Maybe I feel a little bit of loneliness sometimes. You know what they say, sometimes it's lonely at the top, and the people who are around you probably want something from you. But some people that are around you are with you because they know your journey, and they went through their own journeys as well. So yeah, it won't always be easy, this entrepreneurship road, but once you reached your own success, trust me, it's going to be worth it. Can't you already feel the taste of success? Anywho, it's all okay. Another thing that I'm noticing, like in the magician card, all the elements are present, but this person is holding a candle, which is fire, and this is closing this reading is the wands, the card of the wands, which is fire. So when I think of fire, I think of the fire inside you. Gotta have that fire, that flame, that flicker. That's something that no one can take away from you, you see, and only you can keep burning. So you have a responsibility to keep that fire burning no matter what. And yeah, you're gonna feel the warmth when you now start shining. And I wish you all the best with all your entrepreneurial endeavors. And I'm just gonna read this one last time. You can buy yourself out of a contract, but rather don't sell yourself in the first place. Learn your paperwork, learn your financial statements, your contracts. Like, it is a responsibility, it is a journey, this journey of entrepreneurship, and you're gonna learn a lot. You gotta learn the language of reporting, of business, of as I've come to realize, in entrepreneurship, it's actually all business. The language of business is numbers, targets, and you have to set those targets and reach them, and then report on them, and all those kinds of things. The same way numbers or mathematics is the language of physics. Numbers are the language of business. Thank you once again for tuning in. I am Lesego. If you have not subscribed yet to the Positive Tarot, please make sure to do so. And if you've enjoyed this video, please like it. Leave your comments and any other kinds of suggestions. I am planning to record another video based on another topic. I don't want to spoil it. Just tune in for the next video. And thank you once again for joining me. Signing out.